Welcome to Drinks World, where we celebrate entrepreneurs in the beverage industry. Today's guest is Monica du Preez, a veteran in the beverage industry. Monica runs Qualican Contract Canning and Packaging, an automated beverage canning facility in Krugersdorp. And what makes Qualican so unique is that it's a fully automated canning facility with an inline sleever. A minimum print run of a normal printed can is about 250,000 cans. That's about 10,000 cases. And because of the inline sleever at Qualican, you can probably start with a run of 1,000 cases. So let's welcome Monica to the show. My name is Holger Meyer, and this is Drinks World. Welcome to the show. Today I'm visiting Qualican Contract Canning and Packaging. That's a mouthful, Monica. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And Monica has been in the beverage industry for a long time, and she has just started a new canning factory. Tell us a little bit about that and your journey.
So we started Qualican Contract Canning and Packing about a year ago, just setting up. We've only been physically packing for about 4 months.
Okay.
We are basically a family-run company where myself and some other family members are involved. Customers come and see us, tell us what their needs are, and we guide them through the whole process.
And it's beverages.
Only beverages, from water to alcohol.
No peaches.
No peaches.
Okay. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you because this is obviously about drinks.
That's only beverages.
Yeah. So let's talk about the cans that are available on the market.
Sure.
Because, we all know that there's a shortage of bottles.
Yes.
If you want Savannah, you're probably going to have to buy it in a can.
You're going to buy it in a can, and cans are also a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And plastic is, they say within a few years, plastic will be non-existent.
Because of the environment.
So we're also trying to go as green as possible.
Yeah. And my background is beer. And somebody once said to me, if you ask a beer, where do you want to live? The beer would say in a keg. Those 30 liters.
I know them.
And if I can't live in a keg, I'm going to want to live in a can.
Not your tummy.
Definitely not a bottle.
Okay.
So, in terms of beer, and I don't think you've done beer before.
No, we haven't.
But beer definitely wants to live in a can because it protects from the sun.
Yes.
And it protects from oxygen and a whole lot of good things. And I'm sure you know more about that.
Yes, I do. A little bit more.
So there's a shortage of bottles.
Shortage of bottles.
How many suppliers have you got of cans, and are they reliable?
We have, there are 3 suppliers out there. The one specific one I deal with on a regular basis, extremely reliable. I have a brilliant sales guy that I can phone him at 9, 10 o'clock at night, and he's always on call. I think he sees my name and he goes, oh no, not again.
Yeah, but there's no shortage of cans, or is there?
If you're going to do a printed can, you're going to wait. If you go for what we call a bright can, which is your plain silver can, they can literally help me out immediately, and then you can bring it here and we will sleeve it.
Okay, and what sizes can you do?
We can do from a 200ml to a 500ml can. Okay. So that is a 200 and a 250 is what we call a slim can. That is what your mixers come in. So your soda waters, lemonade, your tonic, and your 200s, 250s. Then you get a 300 and a 330, which is a slender, which is slightly bigger than a slim, but not as big as your standard. Then you get a 330 standard, which is, do you remember the old Coke cans?
Yes.
The thick, short can. Then you get a 440 and a 500ml, which is a standard can.
Okay. So there's no chance of getting the 2 liter or 1 liter can. There's a beer called Fax, which comes in a 1 liter can, and I'd love to have some local beer in a 1 liter can.
Well, if there's a need for it, we can always adjust the line and we can make that can. We can pack that can.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in South Africa, so
you never know what's coming this way.
Okay, so there's a big selection, and What is? I mean, you've only been open for a short while, so what
Right.
sort of brands, or not without mentioning the brands, what type of products have you been packaging?
We have packaged for quite a well-known clothing store that has like a kind of stationary gift store attached to it. They swapped from plastic to cans, so their water's gone in there.
Okay, so house brands.
It's a house brand.
Yeah.
And then we've done energy drinks.
Okay.
We've done another small water brand. And we're carrying on with more water and more energy drinks.
Okay.
Yes.
But your background is also, I mean, you've spent most of your life in the liquor industry, so you know that part of the business as well?
I know that part of the business very well.
Okay.
I have had some inquiries about that, and I reckon in the next month or two I will be packing some of that as well.
Okay.
Yes.
And the big guys probably all have their own canning lines.
They have approached me. So if they have overflows,
okay.
they have approached me to assist with that.
You said to me earlier that you are different to the other canning lines because you can do smaller runs.
We can do smaller runs. Because we've got the inline sleever, you don't have to bring a printed can to us, and you don't have to take it to get sleeved outsourced.
Okay. So what is a minimum run to do a print?
A print is 250,000 cans.
250,000
Yes.
cans, divide that by 24, 25,
It's about
10,000.
cases.
Yeah,
So
that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Okay.
And unfortunately, to start up a business, people just don't have that to outlay. Whereby with a sleeve, we can probably do, say, 1,000 cans.
1,000 cases.
Cases, sorry. I'm
Yeah.
saying cans, yeah. And unfortunately, the wastage on that is quite high though, because it goes through a carbonator. The carbonator does keep quite a bit of product in it. So it depends on what the customer, I will always sit with the customer, advise them. I'll bring my operations manager in, who will also then speak to them about the process, the wastage, and then we'll do the costings from there and see if it is liable for them.
Yeah. But we all know if you do smaller runs, it just costs more. But
It does. Obviously, there's also product still in the pipes.
Okay.
And yes.
So it takes a bit to get going and to
does take
finish
a bit.
off.
But because we like to help people that are also still
Still new.
new.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe talk us through the process. So if somebody has a great idea,
Yes.
or if you're a house brand, I don't know if there's a difference between the two, but what can you bring to the table, or what would that process be?
Okay, so say you come here and you just say to me, I'm going to use a energy drink, for example. And you just come and you just say you want to do an energy drink and bring it into the market. I will go out and I will give you names of flavor houses. Put you in touch with the flavor houses, and then you'll set up a meeting, preferably at Qualican, so I can just sit in the meeting. And then that's your first point. You need to be happy with your flavor.
Okay.
And your actual tasting of the product. Then from there you need to work on your artwork. I do have someone who can do artwork for you, or you can go and get a graphics designer. From artwork, if you're not going to go printed cans, then you get a person who can do sleeving. There's quite a few. I will give you a list of people.
So that's like a printer?
Like a printer, yes.
Okay.
As long as we give the printer the proper lay flats that our sleever takes, then from there we decide on the rest of your packaging. Are you going to put your product into shrink wrap, into 6-packs and into a tray? Then you have some companies who don't want to use plastic at all. So we do a box. So your cans literally just go into a box. From the box, they get palletized. No
Okay.
other plastic but your pallet wrap. Even our barcodes, I did show you the product. Our barcodes go straight onto the plastic.
So it's printed on the 6-pack, and I had the question, there's no ways that the machines can read that
It reads it.
that barcode.
It reads it.
So it's a clear shrink, and the barcode is printed on the shrink, and the scanners can read that.
And
That's
it reads
amazing.
it, yes.
So no extra paper or stickers
No extra
or anything.
paper, saves on cost and the environment again.
Yeah, and I guess you can also get printed sleeve, or is that a different process?
You speaking about the sleeve that we put on the can or the 6-pack?
So the 6-pack, whatever,
Yes,
the shrink.
Yes, so we can do our machine can do that.
Okay.
And then you just check the R mark. So I will then speak to the customer about R marks and the printers, and it's quite, as
so
long
it's
as
a
the
technical
machine reads.
So you best start off with a clear shrink.
It's better to start with clear.
Until
Save
you know
up
what you're
money
doing.
and then,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And what is the difference if you wanted to launch an energy drink with alcohol in it?
So if you want to put alcohol into it, you then let me know if you're going to use our A code.
So explain the A code.
A code is for the department to basically pick up where the product is packaged and who
Okay.
the owner of that
Of that
product
product.
is.
And that comes, I think, from in the old days when there were only 2 or 3 big suppliers, and they didn't want their names to appear on Klipdrift and on Richelieu and on all the
Correct.
other brands. They didn't want you to know that everything came from one
Them.
factory.
Well, then you just look at their A code and you see they're all the same number. So yeah, so as long as if you bring me your A code, I'll package under your A code, or we have our own A code
That you
and manufacturing license.
Okay. And just for interest's sake, so the opposite of an A code is a B
B
code,
code, which is imported.
which is for imported products. So
Correct.
if you can't find an A code on a product, look for the B code, and then you know it's from overseas.
From overseas, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And if you're going to export your product,
What then?
you need a B code,
You need a B code
correct?
from the Department of.
Automatically, when you get an A code, you get issued a B code.
Oh, do you?
Yes,
Okay.
it's an automatic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit. I mean, I've had a lot of people approach me, and innocently they're selling alcohol,
Okay.
and they don't know what they're doing. I don't know where they get the alcohol from, but they're selling a brand. They've created a brand. They're selling it. They're not aware of the liquor license and the distribution license.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
So basically, I could also assist the customer if they need to sell their liquor to, or if I'm going to pack alcohol for them, they will need a distribution license if they're going to sell to other license holders. If it's it's usually with countrywide, you'll need an NLA license, which is a simple procedure which I can guide them through. They open, well, like I said, I'm not going to put you through the whole process on here.
Yeah.
Help them, show them where to open up their profile, and they can apply for their own license and save money and just literally pay for their registration fees.
Yeah, so you don't need a whole one of these expensive consultants.
Yes.
Okay, unless you have a problem.
Unless you've got a problem. And then rather put money towards your packing fees and your packaging, should I say.
Yeah, and typically, how long would that process be? I mean, if I'm a retail store owner and I want my own water, you know, how long till I could have that water? I mean, clearly I have already got some kind of brand.
Mm-hmm. You're speaking about just plain water.
Let's just say plain water.
Well, if you've got, it depends on the lead time at your printers.
Okay.
So however long the printers take, if I've got a slot open, then I could have it, and also your quantities as well. But the printers usually would take about a week or 2 to print the sleeves, and then we will pack, and you can have your water within 3 weeks then.
Yeah, and the other kind of customers, I guess, would be like people that are already in business and they're just moving it across, or they're selling more than they can make, then they can also use you.
Then they use us as well.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about where you are.
So we're situated in Krugersdorp.
Okay, in Gauteng.
In Gauteng.
And where can customers find out more about you? Have you got a website?
At the moment, our website is still being in process, or being put up. Otherwise, they can just Google Qualican, and my cell phone number will come up there, or they can email me on monica@qualican.co.za.
Okay.
And I will get back to them straight away.
Monica, thank you for all the lessons. There's a lot of wisdom in there, and it looks like you've been around the block a few times, so
Is that my wrinkles or?
It's all the products that I can see here in the office. I mean, it sounds like there's especially for newbies, if they want to start something, this is the right place to start.
Yes, like I say, I mean, if someone doesn't know what they're doing, I'm more than willing to help and give any advice that's needed.
Okay. Thanks, Monica.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to our stories here online. In the show notes, you will also find a link where you can subscribe to become part of our community and be notified when we upload our latest content.